What I'm now doing is an advanced process of factorizing the number 2,520 in base 120. And the reason why this is such a simple practice is how, or why it's such a simple process despite that it has some complications, is that it basically tells you exactly how many 120. If you know what 120 is, you already know that it has those qualities already, right? This number right here, it already has some of those qualities. Times 21. Do you know what that means? That means in order to get all the factors of this number, on the first line, you put all the factors of 120. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20, 24, 30, 40, 60, and 120. Then you take the number 21, you put it here. Then you take the number 21 and divide it into its factors, 3 and 7. You put 3 here, 7 here. The stars are where I put numbers that were already up there. I decided not to do that on this. But basically you divide, you multiply each one of these by 21, 7, and 3. Now the reason why you do that is so that you can do this factorization. Let me give you an example. You might have 1, right? And you want to divide that by 120. That's or 120. You want to divide that, or not 120. 2,520. Well, you already know that 120 divided by 1 is 1. Right? 120 divided by 120 is 1. So you got 120 here. Because it goes into that 120 times, and then you got the answer of the full problem there, because you multiplied that by 21. Now, here, you got 2, and you want to find how many times it goes into this. Well, basically what you do is you ask yourself, how many times does 2 go into 120? Well, 2 goes into 120 60 times. And if you multiply that by 71, you'll get your answer. Now, this works for a lot of things, but when you get to numbers that don't, that like 7, for example, 7's a prime number that's sort of hard to deal with, but I just so happen to know that 360 is the answer to this one. 9. Now, how do you do that? Right? Because there is no divisibility of 120 here. Well, I'll tell you. 9 can't go into 120, but 3 can. So what you do is you ask, how many times can 3 go into 120? It goes in there 40 times, right? Find 40. 40 is right here. Now, 40 times 21 is what? It's this number right here, 1,260. Now, basically divide this by 3. And 21 divided by 3 is 7. That's your answer. Because I have it on here, right? And what this does, it actually allows you to factorize these numbers very easily. A lot easier than you normally would. Because you use higher factors, more highly composite numbers as a base. And I can also use this to figure out what the factors of this are. Because it would be all these factors plus all these factors multiplied by 2. And then I can just divide it up and find out what all is in it. And you can do that for, some of the most highly composite numbers of all time. I got all the way to 2,520 divided by 20, right? How I did that, I asked myself, how many times can 120, or how many times can 20 go into 120? 120 can go into 20 can go into 120 6 times. See, find 6 right here. But you got to multiply that by 21 because 2,520 is 21 times bigger than 120. And there's your answer, right? 126. So you write that down. And so this is some an advanced factorization technique in base 120 that's actually working really good and helping me figure out what the answers to these numbers are.